I chose The Handmaid's Tale. I'd actually been watching it on Hulu before the class began, so I was very excited to see it's one of the options. Um, and I'm excited to read the book when we finish this up and I have some more time. So, a little summary of The Handmaid's Tale. Essentially, The Handmaid's Tale is supposed to be informally set in the United States, and it's taken over. The United States is essentially taken over by a religious group, and they renamed this dystopian society Gilead. And a handmaid is a woman who has in some way committed a crime or an immoral act, and they are still fruitful, meaning they can bear children, and they are essentially raped by the people within this society in order to have children for them. So this works in bioethics because we can talk a little bit about the respect for autonomy of the handmaids and a little bit about the utilitarianism of it. And within the utilitarianism, I'm also going to speak a little bit about personhood and how they use that to justify what they're doing. So, respect for autonomy. Essentially, everything autonomous is taken away from these handmaids. They are treated as if they are cattle. They are forced essentially to have sex. They are raped once a month. They are forced to live within these homes. Their own children are taken from them. You will see through the pictures that the handmaids all wear a certain color, which sort of identifies them within their class, as you might say. And they're basically any choice that they might have had is taken from them. And you even see that within the movie. The commander gives her magazines, which we see daily on the shelves, that are essentially banned from Gilead. And I also want to talk a little bit about the utilitarianism of it. So the reason that they sort of get away with what they're doing is that they believe that it's for the greater good, essentially, to continue the human race. So within the utilitarianism, I'm going to talk a little bit about the utility principle, which is the moral rightness and wrongness of a principle are determined by the greatest possible utility for the greatest number of sentient beings. So essentially, they are justifying raping these women to continue the human race. And that's how they are saying that it's morally okay what they're doing. And also within this principle, a little bit about personhood. So I found a journal article that talked a little bit about personhood and it being an illusion. And essentially it concluded that it wasn't an illusion, but personhood is an elusive but immensely significant word whose unmet demand for uniform vocabulary explains one of the most prominent bioethical debates in our society today. So what they do within this movie, The Handmaid's Tale, essentially is by making these women criminals, women that are trying to escape are considered criminals, or gender treachery, which is being a lesbian, essentially is a criminal within the eyes of Gilead. They essentially strip them of their personhood, and this is why these women in particular are able to be raped once a month. So this movie has a ton of ethical dilemmas within it, but these just happen to be the two that I chose to discuss for the class. I urge you to watch the Hulu version. The movie was pretty good too, and I'm really excited to read the book. Thank you so much.